we are live. I am Natalie with a ray of sunlight, and I love to take old junky pieces of furniture like this one and paint them and make them new. So today I want to show you probably one of the most fun things that you can do to a piece of furniture. Sorry, there feels like there's something in my mouth. One of the most fun things to do to a piece of furniture, and I'm sorry. If you have like scratches and dings, big pieces of damage, okay, not big, but you know, pieces of damage that you don't necessarily want to sit there and fill in, not like huge, but something that you get the point, right? So it's really fun to use this to cover up any of those dings, scratches, missing veneer. That's a big one. So this dresser, you can see I have the top off, and the reason why is because when I got this dresser, the top only went back to like right here ish, and that's because at some point this dresser had a mirror, I'm guessing, and the mirror did not come with it. So I took the top off and I'm going to replace it with a new wood top that will go all the way back. So that's why it's off for now, but that's beside the point. So I have taken a drawer out of the dresser, and it's down here. I'll show you in a second. And if you saw my post yesterday, if you're watching this on the replay, I'm sorry, I can't say it was yesterday, but basically it was a picture of a piece that had a bunch of detailing on the drawer. Somebody said that it looked like the tin ceiling type thing, the tin tiles, which I thought was really cool because I had never seen it like that, and I love getting other people's perspectives on like what things look like to them. So anyways, find that post, and that's what we're gonna start working on today. So I am using this stencil. It is from Royal Design Studio, and this one is the Donatella Damask. This is the craft one, so it's the small one, and I haven't actually used this stencil before. I have used this one and this one before, and if you notice the really intricate details, this one looks like lace. Is this damask? I'm losing my mind. Anyways, I have both of these in my Amazon shop linked if you're interested in them. If you go to amazon.com/shop/a ray of sunlight, like this type of slash, that might be backwards to you, that type of slash, whatever, you know, this slash, not this slash. And then in my random favorites part of my Amazon shop, you'll find stencils. And I actually linked the big one of these, the wall stencil, in there as well. I got this from royaldesignstudios.com, I think it is. If you Google Royal Design Studios, their site will come up, and this one is the craft one. So it's smaller, which isn't going to be the easiest if you have drawers that are, bigger than this. But I just like how small it is. I didn't want to get the bigger one because I wanted more of the small detail. I want it to look more like lace. I like that lacy look. So I'm using a stencil. You can use whatever stencil you want. I would say to not use more of the modern straight line big patterns because they're not as forgiving. And I really like this because it's really forgiving. I can kind of be sloppy-ish in my own OCD way and be just fine. So what else I'm using to do this? So this is the secret ingredient, texture powder. It's from Country Chic, and this stuff is amazing. What you do is you mix 1 part of this to 1 part of their paint, and I use their dark roast. Obviously, I use it a lot. Hey Megan, thanks for joining us, and if you are coming on, please say hi. Hey Katie, I see you. Not creepy at all, right? So anyways, if you're just joining us, please say hi. Ask any questions. I don't know if I will answer questions during the process or if I'll just wait till the end. We'll see what happens, but okay. So I'm going to take this in a bowl and I am going to mix 1 part of texture powder to 1 part dark roast. Hey everybody, thanks for joining. And I am going to point you down. Look, I got Bondo on me. My newer pants that don't even have paint on them. Hopefully the Bondo will come out. I don't know. Okay. So, and when I say 1 part to 1 part, I do not measure. I literally eyeball it and hope for the best. So, let's hope for the best. Do you see that? I totally just got paint on my new pants. Paint and Bondo on the same day. And I don't have a paper towel, so sponge to the rescue. Okay. Don't mind me with my finger. I really should have paper towels over here. I'm gonna go get them, cause you know, I'm a mess. Okay. Oh, anybody else messy when they paint or do projects? I swear my fingernails always have paint in them. And it's not like I use a brush or anything. It's just because I do. Stupid stuff. Okay. Thank you, Samantha. I can't read your whole comment, but let's see. Oh, thank you. Well, thank you for showing up tonight. I love my job. It doesn't feel like a job to me, but okay. So I'm just going to pour some powder in. And I can't remember if I use a fork or a spoon usually, so I brought both of them. This is supposed to be like peanut butter consistency when it's all mixed up, which looks like pretty close. And this, I usually let it dry overnight when I have it on the drawers, or after I put it on the drawers. You can paint. I wouldn't recommend it, but maybe I'll add a little bit more powder. Watch. I'm going to add too much powder, and then I'll have to add more paint, and then I'll have to add more powder. And then I will be out of paint. Story of my life. And that actually worked really good. Maybe. Okay. So it needs to be peanut butter consistency. This stuff doesn't store super well. Sometimes I will walk away from the project, and so then I'll just cover this with tinfoil. If I know I'm gonna be gone for more than an hour, then I usually put a damp paper towel over the bowl and then tinfoil or plastic wrap. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay. So, now I will clear off my drawer. Grab a pen and a really annoying tape measure. I don't know how it got all bent, but it's kind of annoying. And then, you don't really have to do this, but this is in my OCD nature, I guess. And I mark halfway on the drawer. And then I take my stencil and I decide which way I want up. If I want it that way, this is the way you're technically supposed to do it, so I think I will do it that way. And then I just find, I think this looks to be the center. So I will put my little mark right in one of these spots, and then on the first round I just kind of try to figure out where I want it to line up. So I'll grab my pen again. I think I don't always want it completely like centered this way, just because I want it to look not perfect and not centered completely, if that makes sense. Because it's not showing the whole entire pattern. On the other drawers, my other drawers are a little bit too big for this stencil, because I ordered this stencil before I knew exactly which dresser I was going to do it on. So, anyways, I need to stop talking so my stuff doesn't dry. But I am just going to kind of mark on the stencil so I know that that is where I want to line up. And with these detailed stencils, it's easy to make sure that it's straight and not crooked, just because you can see that the pattern, like, see that little corner, and then I'm gonna match it up right there. That's gonna be where I want the top of my drawer to be. So I will take that away. If you notice, this color, okay, it's not exactly, but the reason why I color the texture powder, getting ahead of myself, that brown, the dark roast, is because I like to distress my texture. And that is something that is totally unique with the texture powder, is that you basically dye it whatever paint color you want, and then you can distress over the powder and it will, like in this case, it will look like wood. So now I just taped it down so then it doesn't move. Get a little bit of texture on my, this is just This is technically for Bondo. Whatever. It's just the straight edge that I had around here. And it was the cleanest one. Which it's not really clean, so. Oh well. And then I just spread it over the powder, or the stencil. I'm trying to get it into all of the little details of the stencil. And there's that. So now, take the tape off. I have done this a couple of different ways. I have done it where I just do, and usually I have a bigger stencil than this, but I've done it where I do that and then let it dry and then come back and do the stencil again. I'm kind of feeling like when I do that, a bigger ridge gets put right here. Sorry, you can't see that. Right at the edge of the stencil. And so then it basically makes it so then when I distress it, you can see like lines. So I'm gonna see if that is the reason why I'm getting those lines. So if you notice, I just lined it up. These stencils are repeating pattern type stencils. And so I just lined it back up, and I don't want to put the stencil too much pressure over on the stuff that I've already done, because I don't want it to all smush. Watch that happen since I'm doing this live. But the goal is to not smush the part that I had already done. So I'm kind of lifting this edge up because it's over that. Hopefully I didn't smash it too much. So yeah, you're just spreading it over, moving the stencil, and so far I'm doing actually pretty good. Ooh, it's gonna be right on the edge. If you have a bigger stencil, this is a lot faster because you don't have to keep moving it over to the next spot and over to the next spot. But I really, really, really love the like the delicate, almost lacy type feel of all the small details. And usually the larger stencils have a lot bigger details. And you can also come with your straight edge and gather all of the stuff on the edge. Okay. Now, gonna put this piece of tape. And this stuff, I have actually let it dry overnight and then realized that's not what I wanted to do. And so I just got a really, really wet rag and wiped it all off. So if you make a mistake, it's not that big of a deal. Just grab a rag, wipe it off. I mean, it's best to do it when it's still all wet, but like I said, I will let this texture dry overnight at least before I move on to painting it. And then painting it is just the regular painting process. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and if you're watching this on the replay, let me know if you have any questions. I will see that. I will see any comments, and I will be able to reply. And as you can see, the texture powder really, whoopsies, it goes a long ways. We'll see if I just messed that up completely or not. It just slid a little bit. Actually, that's not too bad. Looks like I have to do just a little bit. Okay, so that is that on that drawer. I will get this tape off my finger. So, if I was done, or if I had to go watch the kids or whatever, which I probably will, I will just put a napkin, damp napkin over this, and then cover it with tinfoil so then air doesn't get to it. I will also take both of these and just run them under hot water. Sometimes I have to scrub it just a little bit with my hand with some soap to get all of the paint off, but it's important to clean that stencil. And if it starts gumming up and there's a lot of paint on it, then it's really good to clean that stencil. It will help you get straight edges. Okay, so that is the design. And after it all dries, I will just paint it like anything else. And when I distress it, it will show up like it's wood. Like that detail is actually part of the dresser, which is the really, really cool part about this texture powder. I know before I heard about texture powder, there was, sorry, you don't want to see my hand. I used, I think I used spackling because I was just, like I couldn't go anywhere. I had to figure it out right then. And so I just used, you know, like spackling that you put on the wall. And it was okay. But the biggest problem is that it was white. And so I wanted to distress it like I distress a lot of furniture. And I couldn't distress it because it was white and that it didn't look right. So I always mix the brown paint into the texture powder. And then if you want to have some fun, you could mix whatever color you want into it and it will dye the texture powder that color. And the texture powder has no color whatsoever. So the texture powder won't like lighten your paint color up or anything. So anyways, I hope that gives you guys some inspiration, and we'll see. I have a goal to have this dresser done by the beginning of next week, so I gotta get a move on this. So I hope you guys have a good night, and once again, if you have any questions, let me know. I have all of the products listed in the description, and I will put a comment with all of that information too, if you're looking for the products. So anyways, I'll see you guys later.